Hi, my friends. So we are in the book of Habakkuk, and I'm so glad that fall's finally coming because I tell you, this summer was whoop, a hot and muggy summer, and last night it finally rained. It's wet all over outside, and um, that's fine because I watered my plants, but they got a little extra. And So yeah, so that's good. And I'm just glad that it's going to be fall and all the leaves are changed, especially for people back east. I just think that's so cool when that happens. And nothing going on in the news that is worth anything to talk about, in my opinion. But anyway, I guess the new iPhone is out. Really, face recognition? Who's going to spend? What idiot's going to spend the kind of money and then all of a sudden face recognition? Come on, people, wake up! You know where that's going to? Yeah, yeah, right. That's what I thought. No thanks. I'll just keep what I have, and if I need to, I'll go to. I'll use something else. I don't know right now, but yeah, not cool. Anyway, there's plenty of YouTube things on that you can watch yourself. All right, so we're in chapter 2, and Habakkuk is giving a prophetic vision. Okay, and unto Habakkuk, waiting for an answer, is shown that he must wait in faith, judgment upon the Chaldeans for their sins. Okay, so he has to be patient and wait, and spiritual watchmen, okay, is what we are, all right? And I will stand upon my watch, and will set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision, make it plain upon the tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. But though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarge his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathered unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Shall not all of these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increased, which is not his, how long? And to him that laddeth himself with thick clay, shall they not rise up suddenly, that shall bite thee, and awake, and shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them? Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because a man's blood for the violence of the land and the city, and all that dwelleth therein. Woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul. For the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the beam out of the timber shall answer it. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, and establish a city by iniquity. Behold, it is not of the Lord of hosts that the people shall labor in the very fire, and that people shall weary themselves for very vanity. For the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord, as the waters cover the sea. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth thy bottle to him, and maketh him drunken also, that he may lookest upon their nakedness. Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and the shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. For the violence of the Lebanon shall cover thee, and the spoil of the breast which made them afraid because of man's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and all that dwell therein, that profiteth the graven image, and maketh thereof, have graven it in molten image, and the teacher of lies, and the maker of his work trusted therein to make dumb idols. Woe unto him that saith to the wood, Awake, to the dumb stone, Arise, it shall teach. Behold, it is laid over with gold and silver, and there is no breath at all in the midst of it. But the Lord is in his holy temple, and let all the earth keep silence before him. Chapter 3. Habakkuk's prayer. God's majesty to delivering his people. Stability of the prophet's faith. A prayer of Habakkuk, the prophet, upon Shai-Gai-Anath. O Lord, I have heard thy speech and was afraid. O Lord, revive thy work in the midst of the years, and in the midst of the years that make known. In wrath remember mercy. God came from Teman, and the Holy One from Mount Paran, Selah. His glory covered the heavens and the earth, and was full of his praise. And his brightness was as the light. He had horns coming out of his hands, and there was the hiding of his power. Before him went the pestilence, the burning coals went forth at his feet. He stood and measured the earth. He beheld and drove asunder the nations, and the everlasting mountains were scattered. The perpetual hills did bow. His ways are everlasting. I saw the tents of Cushan in affliction, and the curtains of the land of Midian did tremble. The Lord was displeased against the rivers. Was thine anger against the rivers? Was thy wrath against the sea? Thou didst ride upon thy horses and thy chariots of salvation. Thy bow was made quite naked, according to the oaths of the tribes, even thy word, Selah. Thou didst cleave the earth with rivers. The mountains saw thee, and they trembled. Overflowing of the waters passed by, and the deep utter of his voice, and lifted up his hands on high. The sun, moon, stood still in their inhabitation. At the light of thine arrows they went, at the shining of thy glittering spear. Thou didst march through the land in indignation. Thou didst thresh the heathen in anger. Thou wentst forth for the salvation of thy people, even for salvation with thine anointed. Thou woundest the head out of the house of the wicked, by discovering the foundation unto the neck. Selah. Thou didst strike through the slaves of the head of the villages that came out as the whirlwind to scatter me. Their rejoicing was to devour the poor secretly. Thou didst walk in the sea of thine horses through the heap of great waters. When I heard my belly tremble, my lips quivered at the voice, rottenness entered into my bones, and I trembled in myself, that I might rest in the day of trouble, when he cometh up unto the people. He will invade them in his troops. Although the fig tree shall not blossom, neither shall fruit be in the vines, the labor of the olive shall fail, the field shall yield no meat, the flock shall be cut off from the fold, and there shall be no herd in the stalls. Yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will joy in the God of my salvation. And the Lord is my strength, and he will make my feet like hinds' feet, and he will make me to walk upon mine high places, to the chief singer on my stringed instruments. And that's the end of Habakkuk. Now, Zephaniah, which is our next book, the synopsis of that is, or the explanation of this book. Excuse me a minute. Okay, evidently a direct descendant of King Hezekiah. He prophesied during the reign of Josiah, king of Judah. It is thought he uttered his prophecy near the beginning of Josiah's reign, before the religious revival which swept over the kingdom at that period. You can see 2 Kings chapter 22-23, which I've already read. Tradition says that Zephaniah was associated with Huldah, the prophetess, and Jeremiah in the initiation of the reformation of the kingdom. So the main theme is the searching judgments of God. The key texts and contexts are that the book is exceedingly somber in its tone, filled with threatenings and denunciations, but the sun breaks through the clouds in the last chapter, and the prophet foretells the coming of the glad day, when the Hebrews shall become a praise among all the people of the earth. The announcement of the coming judgments upon Judah, the call of repentance, the judgments threatened upon surrounding nations, a woe is pronounced, a universal judgment, the future glory of Israel. And then the next book is going to be Haggai, and then Zechariah, and then will be Malachi is the last, Malachi, right? And then we'll be in the book of the New Testament, Matthew. Ah, pretty good, huh? Okay, so let's see. Okay, so Zephaniah chapter 1, the word of the Lord which came unto Zephaniah, son of Cushi, son of Gedaliah, son of Amariah, the son of Hezekiah, the days of Josiah, the son of Ammon, king of Judah. I will utterly consume all things from the land, saith the Lord. I will consume man and beast. I will consume the fowls of heaven, fishes of the sea, stumbling blocks with the wicked, and I will cut off man from the land, saith the Lord. I will also stretch out my hand upon Judah, upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and I will cut off the remnant of Baal from this place, in the name of the Chemarims with the priests, them that worship the host of heaven upon the housetops, and them that worship and that swear by the Lord, and swear by Malcham, and them that turn back from the Lord, and those that have not sought the Lord, nor inquired for him. Hold thy peace at thy presence of the Lord, for the day of the Lord is at hand, and the Lord hath prepared a sacrifice. He hath bid his guest. And it shall come to pass in the day of the Lord's sacrifice, that I will punish the princesses, and the king's children, and all such that are clothed with strange apparel. In the same day will I also punish all those that leap upon the threshold, which fill their masters' houses with violence and deceit. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord, that there shall be a noise of cry of the fish gate, a howling of the second, and the great crashing from the hills. Howl ye inhabitants of Mektesh, and all the merchant people are cut down, and all they that bear silver are cut off. And it shall come to pass that at the time that I will search Jerusalem with candles, and punish the men that are settled on their lees, that say in their heart, the Lord will not do good, neither will he do evil. Therefore their goods shall become a booty, and their house